everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited to share a project with you. If you have not joined me before, I'm Debra Harrison with Simply Sweet and Ink Designs. I see some of you are starting to hop on. Welcome. I appreciate that you're on with me. All right, I'm still just kind of running through a few things right now. So guys, let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you what today's project is. So hang tight. All right, so hopefully you can see me. We are actually going to make a really fun bubble gum holder with the hat builder dies. Now, sometimes I like to buy the bundles. Usually I do, but in some cases I just find that the bundles really don't, I don't need the whole thing. Sometimes I need just the stamp, sometimes I need just the dies. And in this case, I just really did not feel that I was going to be using the stamp set with this hat bundle. So I decided, I really like the dies in this set though, so I decided that I would just buy the dies because I feel like they make some really cute little cutouts. So I'm going to share with you what this is inside. I'm going to open it, and inside we've got a little pack of Wrigley's gum. Now, I will tell you, I'm going to have to pull out my gum because I made a mistake when I went to the store and I only bought one pack. I don't know what I was thinking. I needed two, one for my sample and one for today's project. So I'm going to borrow this pack of gum, and we're just going to pretend that it's in the box, all right? All right, so I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to pull my supplies in, and then we're going to do today's project. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get our scoreboard out, and we're going to make a few little score lines. Now, if you are part of my email newsletter list, then you will actually be receiving tomorrow, you'll be receiving the PDF tutorial for today's project. But I'm going to borrow it today just to kind of help me with some of my measurements because they're kind of a little bit unique today. All right, so let me get out the first thing, which is going to be a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. Now, this cardstock measures, let me see, it is 4 1/4 by 7 3/4. And what we're going to do is we're going to score it along, put our long side against the top, and we're going to score at 2 1/2 inches. 3 inches, 5 1/2 inches, and then again at 6 inches. Now I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and where you see that I have my orange marks, that's where we're going to put some score lines along the short side, and that is going to be at 1/2 inch, and then again at 3 3/4 inches. All right, so I don't need my scoreboard anymore. All right, so what we're going to do is I want to show you here, there is a short section and then there is a taller section. So on the short section, I want to take a circle punch. You can use any size circle punch that you want, and I'm going to punch out a little semicircle here to create a notch for my gum. All right, so next what I'm going to do is on this taller section, I am going to take a piece of designer series paper. Now this actually comes from the Pansy Petals designer series paper, and it measures 2 3/8 by 3 1/8. And I am going to glue it here on this taller section. Hi Linda, hi Liz, how are you? Glad that you're on with me. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so on this taller section, I'm going to put that piece of designer series paper because it's a little bit easier to do before I fold it. Once I fold it, it's a little more challenging. All right, so we have here some different score lines. So what I'm going to do is on the one that's a notch, the reason I did the notch first is I wanted to remind myself where I need to cut, is here I'm going to snip some little tabs on each side. All right, and then next what I want to do is on this taller section, I'm just show you here, there's a score line here and a score line here. I want to go about a 3/4 of an inch beyond that bottom score line, and I'm just going to cut at an angle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along this long score line all the way up to that notch. Let me get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. All right. Now it doesn't have to be perfect where you cut that angle, it's just generally an angle. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, there's my 2 score lines. I'm going to go about 3/4 of an inch below that last score line here. And again, I'm going to cut at an angle. And then I'm going to cut again that long piece away. Cut that off. All right, so when you're done, you should have this little notch. Now I noticed my notches aren't quite right. Actually, you know what? I kind of messed up on that notch, but that's okay. I'll just kind of fix it here. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to burnish all the score lines. Get nice, clean, crisp edges. And then we're going to assemble our box. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I have like this notched piece, and then I have this piece that has the little semicircle in it. What I want to do first is I want to attach my little side tabs to this angled pieces first. That way we kind of end up with a really clean finish to our box. Like I said, I'm going to attach that little tab to this angled piece first. Linda, thank you. Elizabeth, thank you for sharing. I love it when you share with other people. Share with your friends. I appreciate that. All right, again, I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to attach that little tab to the other angled piece. And the reason I want to do that is so when I put these sides on, I end up with a nice clean finish in the front. All right, so we're going to finish assembling our box, and we're just going to glue these little side tabs. Okay. All right, so we have our box finished, and as you see, it closes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that gum that I borrowed, and I'm going to stick it inside here. Now you can leave it like this and just decorate the front if you want to, but I'm going to add a little sentiment here inside. And so what I did is I took one of the dies from the Tasteful Labels dies, and I borrowed a stamp from this Sweet Ice Cream stamp set. Now you can use any die that you have, you can use any sentiment stamp you have, whatever works that you have in your crafting stash. And I'm going to take some Misty Moonlight ink, and I'm just going to stamp here on my label. And then what I want to do is I'm going to glue that label here on the inside of my box, so they have a little cute little message when they open it up. And I like this particular label because it kind of reminded me somewhat of a baseball diamond. Maybe an elongated one, but still a baseball diamond. And then I die cut out ahead of time one of that little cap from the Hat Builder dies, and I'm going to put that here at an angle. And then we're going to add a little flower. It's really, really tiny. I actually borrowed this one from the Sweet or the Peach dies, but really any little flower you have will work just fine. So I'm just going to add that to my cap. All right, so I am done with the inside of my box, so I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to take a piece of silver twine. Now you can use any, if you've got white baker's twine, you can use that as well. And I'm just going to wrap that around the box. I think the length of my twine here is like 16 inches, give or take. And then I'm going to tie a bow here at the bottom. Trim off some of this extra. All right, so now I'm going to finish decorating the outside of my box. So what I wanted to show you is we have this really large die in that Hat Builders die set. And so I have already punched out a large cap. But what I want to do next is I want to show you how you can change and make it a really cute bill here and give it a really cute little accent. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of designer series paper. Now this particular pattern came from the Sweet Symmetry designer series paper, a pack, and I'm just going to line up the bill section of that die here, and I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. I'm going to go ahead and pull my mini machine out today, since this is a nice size for that. And it does not have to be perfect, just as long as it just lines up and you get that bill in there somehow. And then just run it through the machine. Okay, so I don't need that die anymore. I'm going to set that aside. Now along here, and it may not show up in my camera, but I have excess here that I don't need. There is some little perforations here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim along that perforation so that I only end up with just that section that I need. And then I'm going to glue that right here onto the bill. Hi Nathan, welcome my friend. So what I did is I die cut out a label in basic white cardstock from the Hat Builder dies, and I die cut out a star. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these two onto my cap. There really wasn't a lot of stamping today, just mainly die cutting. And I went ahead and I die cut some of the pieces out ahead of time. And then we're going to put on our little star. All right, and then what I'm going to do to finish this up is I am going to adhere this cap onto the front of my gum holder. All right, there we go, guys. Yay! I love it. Isn't that cute? All right, so I have to share with you. I don't know if you heard me bragging on Nathan. I saw Nathan on here earlier, and so I wanted to share because he's the one who got me into buying, he's the one who's convinced me to buy these Hat Builder dies. And so I want to share with you some of the projects that he has made with them that I thought were super duper cute. He went really creative. Now, for those who are in Texas, you probably recognize these symbols. This is for Houston Astros, and this is for the Texas Rangers. And he used that handsomely suited die set with the Hat Builder dies and made some really adorable cards. He went all out on these, and I love them. All right. So also too is I did some other projects with these for the Stampin' Bunko this month, where we made a card and then we made this really cute little wooden bat pin holder that I thought was really sweet. So those are the projects for this month's Bunko. All right, guys, sorry about that little glitch that happened there. But I do want to share with you some events that I have coming up in August, actually late July and early, and also well in August. My Sweet as a Peach recipe memory album, the deadline to register for that is tomorrow. So I know that that event is filling up quickly. I think there's just a couple of spots left. So if you want to go check that out, hop over to my blog. However, you will want to actually go, and there's a way that you can request the registration link. And you'll need to do that in order to be able to get the registration link. Unless you were on my email newsletter, you hopefully got that registration link in your email. Also too, I am doing a holiday catalog paper and ribbon share for the holiday catalog. Yes, we have a holiday catalog coming out in August, and I gotta tell you guys, I got my pre-order in and they are amazing. I think you're gonna love it. I am hoping that I have time to, in the next week or two, to do an unboxing video of all the goodies that I got from the holiday catalog in my demo pre-order. If you would like to sample all the different ribbons and papers that are in the holiday catalog, I have my holiday share. I'm doing reservations right now, and then I will bill for it in later this month. And also too, guys, if you are not part of Paper Pumpkin, I have to tell you, Shelly Gardner, she is the co-founder of Stampin' Up. And anytime she does a box periodically, and when she does, it is always amazing. So you definitely want to subscribe and reserve that box. I love it. So guys, I am going to hop back over real quick and say goodbye to you. Hi, thanks for joining me and crafting with me. Like I said, I will splice these two Facebook Lives together and I will do a YouTube video for you. And that way you can have the whole complete thing and you don't have to kind of piece each one together. So guys, I hope that you will join me next week. Until then, have a wonderfully blessed weekend and we'll see you next time. Bye guys, take care.